From the Hindu Kush to the Rockies, a journey from Kabul to Colorado in community-led transformation, a memoir of resilience, advocacy, and transformation by Humayun Milad. Episode 17, Navigating Complexity. Challenges in implementing Article 140 of Afghanistan's Constitution. Article 140: the Council shall be established to organize activities as well as attain active participation of the people in provincial administrations in districts and in villages, in accordance with the provisions of the law. Local residents shall elect members of these councils for 3 years through free, general, secret, as well as direct elections. Participation of nomads in these local councils shall be regulated in accordance with the provisions of the law. Governance is at the heart of stability, development, and community empowerment. In Afghanistan, Article 140 of the Constitution held the promise of transforming governance at the district level by allowing local populations to elect their district governors. This shift towards decentralization was expected to strengthen participatory governance, bridge the gap between citizens and decision-makers, and promote equitable development. However, despite its potential, Article 140 was never implemented. Political resistance, security, instability, and institutional inertia prevented the full realization of local elections. Between 2007 and 2015, the Ministry of Rural Rehabilitation and Development, MRRD, and the Independent Directorate of Local Governance, IDLG, spearheaded efforts to strengthen local governance structures, laying the foundation for future decentralization. This part explores the challenges surrounding Article 140, the efforts undertaken by key institutions, and my personal role as a core team member in preparing the policy for improving governance and development in the districts and villages of Afghanistan. Political and institutional barriers to implementation. The failure to implement Article 140 was not due to a lack of will or vision, but rather a complex intersection of systemic obstacles. Political resistance. The central government remained hesitant to decentralize power, fearing that district elections could weaken national control and lead to fragmentation. Legal and institutional barriers. The absence of clear legal frameworks for conducting elections at the district level created uncertainty, leaving implementation efforts in limbo. Security challenges. Armed conflicts and insurgent presence in many districts made the logistics of elections incredibly difficult to execute. Resource constraints. Establishing a decentralized governance system required significant financial and logistical investments, which were deprioritized in favor of security and national governance efforts. Despite these challenges, MRRD and IDLG worked to create frameworks that would allow decentralized governance to take shape, even if elections remained elusive, strengthening local governance. The role of MRRD and IDLG. Both the MRRD and IDLG played crucial roles in laying the groundwork for decentralized governance through various initiatives. MRRD initiatives led the National Solidarity Program, NSP, to create Community Development Councils, CDCs, giving communities a formal mechanism to engage in decision-making. Implemented the Citizens Charter Afghanistan Project, CCAP, to improve service delivery and accountability at the local level. Strengthened rural governance by institutionalizing community leadership and advocating for participatory development. IDLG efforts. Advocated for district-level governance reforms to ensure that local councils were formally recognized and empowered. Developed capacity-building programs to train local officials on governance and development management. Facilitated coordination between local governance bodies and national institutions, ensuring alignment between community priorities and government strategies. While Article 140 was never fully enacted, these efforts helped establish local governance structures that provided communities with a voice. My role in governance policy. As a core team member in the preparation of the policy for improving governance and development in districts and villages of Afghanistan, my work centered around designing strategic frameworks that would allow local governance structures to function effectively. My contributions included developing policy frameworks that aligned governance strategies with local realities, facilitating multi-stakeholder engagement to ensure inclusive representation in policy formulation, advocating for decentralized governance through mechanisms such as district development assemblies, which became critical platforms for community participation. These efforts were part of a larger vision to institutionalize bottom-up governance structures that ensured policies reflected the needs and aspirations of the people at the grassroots level. The National Area-Based Development Program, NABDP, and district governance. Among the most significant initiatives was the National Area-Based Development Program, NABDP, a joint effort between MRRD and the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, aimed at strengthening district institutions and improving local governance capacity. During NABDP's third phase, 2009 to 2015, efforts focused on building institutional capacity within districts to manage local development programs effectively, developing productive infrastructure that supported economic stability and governance, facilitating the reintegration of conflict-affected communities through structured governance interventions. NABDP was instrumental in preparing the ground for decentralized governance, leading to the development of operational guidelines for the establishment of district coordination councils. Operational guidelines for the establishment of district coordination councils. To further formalize governance at the district level, operational guidelines for the establishment of district coordination councils, DCCs, were developed. These guidelines served as a policy framework to structure local decision-making, defining the composition and responsibilities of district coordination councils. Mechanisms for community participation in governance and development planning. Strategies for aligning local priorities with national policies while preserving community autonomy. My contributions in shaping these guidelines ensured that district-level governance was not merely a theoretical concept, but a practical system capable of fostering sustainable development. Despite extensive efforts, the full implementation of Article 140 never materialized. Political inertia, security instability, and competing priorities prevented district elections, a reality that underscores the deeper challenges of governance reform in fragile states. However, through MRRD, IDLG, NABDP, and structured governance policies, Afghanistan made significant strides toward localized governance. The structures established through these efforts ensured that communities could engage in governance, shape their own priorities, and participate in development, even if elections were never formally conducted. We'll continue this story in the next episode, so stay tuned.